いいかい、よくお聞き。人間はね、何にだってなれるんだ。
人間の尊厳、実験、尊厳の剥奪。
アンナを待ってたんだ。絵本を読みながら。
君たちは美しい宝石だ。だから怪物になんかなっちゃいけない。
私たちは名前のない怪物ですもの。お兄ちゃん、手を離さないで。
もう一人の分身とそこを手をつないで歩いていた。僕らには名前がなかった。
もう歩けない。お腹が空いたよ。お兄ちゃん、私たち死んじゃうのか
な。ゼウスが核を仰せられると、土地に住む人間の種族は種をまき畑を耕すことを覚えた。
カール、また発音。
すみません。気をつけているのですが。
だが甘くなった。彼はどうした？あの日本人医師は
世界中を飛び回ってるとか聞いています。
Okay.
そうか。あの男ともう一度会いたいものだ。
Okay, apparently some time has passed. Tenma appears to be alright. He's not in prison. That's good. Honestly, however it ends at this point, it's been a fantastic series. Just phenomenal writing. Oh my god, yay!
あんたなら家具の目利きも相当なもんだろうしな。
インテリアって言ってもそっちの方面とちょっと違うのよ。キッチンのコーディネータ
Okay.
ー。今までろくにキッチンなんかに立ったことない私が。
じゃあ今度うちのキッチンをお願いしようかな。
いいわよ。
いやしかしあんたの見立てたキッチンじゃ高くつきそうだな。
ちょっとね。
酒は飲んではいないね。
Good. I'm glad this ending isn't totally depressing. I had a feeling it wouldn't be. Bittersweet.
彼は私が駅で待っているだけで
Martin.
幸せだって言ってた。不思議ね、人間って。悲しみはどんどん薄れていって楽しかった記憶ばかりが残っていく。人間って都合よくできてるわよね。
紹介します。この人がバーデマン弁護士。あなたにかけられた嫌疑を晴らしてくれた人です。
Oh.
クリマさん。
Oh wow, okay.
あなたに関してわかる限りのことは名前だけじゃない。彼は何も語らずに言った。
ルンゲ警部。
もう警部じゃないよ。
Oh.
警察大学校の教授になられたと伺いましたが。
Fitting job.
このところ娘とよく会話するようになった。
Okay.
会話といっても電子メールだがね。
Baby steps.
これまで私たち親子は何も語らずに過ごしてきた。お互い何も知らずに生きてきた。人間は一生のうちでどれほどのことを伝えることができるのか。たくさん話したいことがあったろうに。うまいビールを飲みながら。
He asked Grimmer to get him a beer if he came back from the Roberto thing alive. Oh.
契約してる会社があっちなの。
あそこは君にとってはいろいろと。
逃げ出そうとしても無駄だ。大切なのは事実と向き合い前に進むことだ。でしょ？
うん。
これ適当に処分しておいてくださる？
うん。
Is that a photo album?
それじゃ。
私も
ドクター・ギーレンもいつでも力になれる。ディーターと、そして彼もな。
よろしく伝えといて。
ああ。
Good on her.
ドクター・テンマの事情聴取続く。事件の全貌を未だつかめず。
Okay.
ルンゲ警部の証言始まる。
Slowly but surely.
最悪の連続殺人事件に発展か。ドクター・テンマ完全な。
Oh, okay.
警察当局はドクター・テンマに謝罪の意を表明。
Timeline.
事件の動機まだつかめず。真犯人とされる謎の青年の正体は、ニュースター大学医学部ドクター・テンマを教授として招聘。ドクター・テンマ個人の
Okay.
ドクター・テンマ国境なき医師団に参加か。
What is the MSF? Oh, okay. Fitting.
人間って都合よくできてるか。
Heckle.
ヘッケルおじさんはちょっと見ないうちにますますずる賢そうになったね。
相変わらず口の減らねえガキだね。
悪いけどサッカーの練習に行くから付き合ってられないよ。
たく国境なき医師団だかなんだか知らねえけど、カッコつけて金にならねえ。
Look cool.
全然捕まれやし。
天馬がおじさんに仕事？
簡単に人探しとか言いやがってえれえ苦労したんだ。
Who is he looking for?
おい、払えないならまたモグリの医者やらせるから覚悟しとけってな。
He's looking better. Healthier.
このところいらっしゃらなかったから。いい天気。たくさんの葉が光合成してる命。数えきれない遺伝子。メンデルってご存知？
Mm-hmm.
私、メンデルと同じ大学に通っていました。
ブルノ大学。チェコ南東部モラビア地方の都市ですね。
It's the mother. The mother of the twins.
何度も通ってくださって、とても楽しい時間を過ごさせてくれて、何でもお話できそうな気がする。
She studied genetic engineering at that university.
私に聞きたいことがあるんでしょう。
あなたは双子のお母さんですね。
ええ。それはあの男の実験だった。私はあの男を決して許さない。
Only natural.
手を離さないで。手を。本当の怪物は誰？あの子たちは生きているのね。
ええ、元気です。
Both of them?
思い出したの。
何をですか？
二度と思い出せないかもしれない。今言わなきゃ。あの子たちに名前をつけたの。あの子たちの名前はね。
Are we ever gonna hear them? Or does it not matter?
入りたまえ。
She's back at university, apparently.
相変わらずの遅刻常習犯だな。約束の時間20分遅れだ。
Like in her introduction, yeah. Well, her introduction as Nina. What is her thesis?
君にいろいろあったのは知っている。休学中の遅れを取り戻すのも大変な苦労だったろう。
でもそれは成績の言い訳にはなりませんし。
その通りだ。ところで君の論文だが、トップだ。これは私が教えたこれまでの学生の中で最も優れた論文だ。よく頑張ったな。
ありがとうございます。
君の志望は？
はい、弁護士です。
君によって多くの人が救われることを祈る。
Aw.
ただし、法廷では遅刻は許されないよ。フロイライン・ニーナ・フォルトナー。
This OST also played in her first introduction as Nina.
アルバイトあるし、友達との予定も結構。何言ってるんだよ。天馬が帰ってくるんだよ。すぐ国境なき医師団で外国に行っちゃうんだってさ。いつ？明日には帰るって。だからニナも早く。ああ、ニナ、明日の予定なんだけど、ごめん、ちょっと行けなくなった。天馬に会える。あ、こんにちは。
ご苦労様です。
On God. Is he in a coma?
あれからずっと眠り続けているね。聞こえるかい？君のお母さんと話をした。君を愛していた。君の本当の名前を聞いた。君には名前があった。
Oh my god.
ドクターテンマ、あなただけに聞いてほしいこと。あの時、あの怪物が僕の前に現れた。
これは実験だ。どちらかを残してどちらかを連れていく。これは実験だ。さあ、どちらを連れていく？
Oh my god.
離さないで。
離さないで
離さないで。
離さないで。母さん、手を離さないで。
こっち。いえ、こっち。
やだ
母さんは僕を助けようとしたの。僕と妹を間違えたの。 どっち
Jesus.
どっち
Wait, did he imagine that, or did that actually happen? Bro. Where did he go? Okay. Wow. Alright, I was called to supper as the episode ended, but because of that, I have had time to let my thoughts stew a little bit. This is still going to be very disorganized, but it's very important to me that I at least start some kind of discussion when I finish a series. As I've said before, it usually takes me quite a while to sort through how I think and feel about a series after I finished it. Even my discussion at the end of Mob Psycho, which I called Word Vomit at the time, was a lot more organized than this is going to be because I had read the Mob Psycho manga and had time to process that on its own before I even saw season 3. So this is an entirely new story that I went into blind and that I'm sure I will have a lot of aha moments about while thinking about it over the coming weeks. But for now, I will try to share what's on my mind in the present moment, even if it's not a lot. First of all, this was an excellent series. Extremely, extremely good. I can see why people love it so much. I can see why it is regarded so highly. The character writing is phenomenal. The structure is very good. I enjoy how the plot progresses and how the event progression just keeps you coming back, even though it doesn't reveal too much all of a sudden. It feels very stable in how it progresses. And the most important pattern to me is the actual tone of the story. As the plot is progressing, we see consistent shifts between some very optimistic views on the world and some very pessimistic ones as well, which is what led me to predict that the ending would be something more bittersweet. Like, as I was watching this whole show, I kept wondering to myself, especially during the wholesome moments, you know, when Tenma befriends various people, I kept thinking, like, there's no way the author of this, who has some heartwarming message like this in almost every episode, is going to make an ending that's completely depressing. It just wouldn't feel in character for the show. It would feel out of line with the show's identity, or what I've perceived as the show's identity. So I think the tone of this ending was appropriate. And again, it just felt consistent. When I say that the storytelling here is consistent and stable, I don't mean to say that it's predictable, because there were many elements of it that caught me off guard. The content of the plot was often very unpredictable. but the way in which things progressed and the pacing of the narrative is what felt stable, and that's a good thing. I'm talking about the structure more than the content when I say that. As for the narrative itself, it was a wonderful narrative. I feel like this is definitely something I'm going to revisit and rewatch in its entirety. There are many moments in this, many characters in this, arcs in this that resonated with me pretty deeply. And it's just so much though, like 74 episodes is a lot. It's so much that I can't cite every reason why this resonates with me so much and why it's so special. Even before watching, I have seen that the show is very special to many people, and it has become very special to me as well. I think the best way I can describe it concisely is that I think it's a laboriously nuanced exploration of the human condition across multiple characters and even within certain characters, especially the most developed ones, and I just love shit like that so much. It consistently humanizes even the worst trash in the show in a way that honestly does not feel like a stretch or unrealistic in any way. It doesn't feel forced. It's just like, yeah, people be like that. A lot of people be like that. And that's why the open-ended aspect of this ending doesn't rub me too much the wrong way. I have to admit that a lot of the time, I'm more likely than not to dislike endings I see as too open to interpretation. I'm okay with some things being open for interpretation, but a lot of the time, just personally for me, when a story leaves so much up to interpretation at the end, I tend to find it frustrating and kind of lazy. I tend to see it as even the author didn't know what he was trying to say or what to do, so he just made it open to interpretation, and everyone calls that deep, and I don't find it that deep. That's how I feel a lot of the time, but I think it works here, because it did tie up most loose ends in the story, other than Johan himself, which feels oddly fitting, I suppose. What comes to mind now is what Lung said, is one lifetime even enough to convey that much, or something like that? How much are you able to convey in one lifetime? That was a very interesting quote to me, and it made me think of Johan a little bit. Like, it's still very difficult to understand him, even at the end of the series. I think that was likely intentional, but not really out of place either. It seems like the dude doesn't even really get himself or what's going on with himself. Now, I don't want to talk about him too much because there's so much more to Monster than just Johan. Way more than I expected, actually. I thought it was going to be a lot more Johan-centric than it really was. But my thoughts on him are that, okay, he's clearly like coping the whole time. He's just coping really hard with something. It's probably a combination of Kinderheim, of what happened to his sister, which that's a thing. Secondhand trauma really is a thing. It's not to be overlooked. And with this reveal in the last episode that he may or may not have been abandoned by his mother when she was told to choose which of her children to give up. I feel like that part was also intentionally left unclear, and maybe this uncertainty exists in Johan's mind as well. He doesn't know whether he was wanted from the beginning or not. I don't know which of these events exactly is the tipping point for him. I suspect that he was probably predisposed to being the way he is, but that series of life events probably exacerbated things. Like, yeah, the things he went through are obviously very traumatizing, but at the same time, what he did was a lot. Like, a lot. People react to the things that happen to them in different ways, but there's just so much to wonder about exactly how he ended up this way. Maybe it's also bad luck. It's just he happens to be incredibly smart and capable, and when someone like that is put through the things that he was put through, the result is something extremely wide scale too. Like, he is able to pull off many things due to his intelligence and ability to plan and gather information and such. I mean, the series pretty much states that he's a genius, right? And maybe the natural result of a person going through the things he went through, happening to be a genius, is something like this. I don't know. Again, back to Lung's quote, like, can you even convey an answer to something like that in one lifetime? Is it even possible? The only things I can say for certain about him are that he wants someone to understand how he feels and suffer the way that he has suffered. And I don't know what the last frame indicates with his bed being empty. Did he get up and run away again? Is he going to live a normal life after this? Is he gonna go get up to some weird shit? Is he dead? Maybe the fact that Tenma chose to save him again, even after everything he did, and that Tenma knows he did, maybe he perceived that as, this is gonna sound maybe overly optimistic, but maybe he perceived that as forgiveness or as something to cancel out or make up for the fact that his mother might have given him up. This person chose to save his life 2 times. The second time being even after he has committed such atrocities. Maybe that hopefully convinced him to just stop. Now I'm thinking back to that quote that he told Tenma very, very early in the series when he shot Junkers. He told Tenma, "You're almost like a parent to me," or "You're like a parent to me," or something like that. And I found that a very strange quote, but it sort of makes a little bit more sense to me now that I think about it in this context. He perceived his parent as abandoning him, or that there was a chance that she abandoned him. Like, in his mind, there is a possibility or a certainty that one of them was unwanted. But after Tenma saved him twice, it's like 2 times he was being told that he should remain alive. And maybe he wishes he had that certainty from his actual parent. I don't know, I am sure that this is the kind of series that has a million different analyses and discussions on it with some different viewpoints concerning things like this. And I'm excited to read some of those after I'm done recording this. I think that's all I have to say on Johan himself at the moment. I really, really enjoyed the other characters so much. Tenma and Grimmer especially, in case that wasn't obvious enough. It is such a wonderful cast, and I was happy to see some of them become more recurring. Like, other than Nina and Dieter, there was also just Dr. Reichwein, Dr. Gillen, like all of those, Lung, Ava, everyone played some kind of role and had their own sort of message that they contributed to the show. It strikes me very much as the type of show that isn't even really meant to be wrapped up neatly into a little package, because that's not even how people are, which is the main subject of the story. It's the human psyche, I guess. It's not meant to be wrapped up all neatly with all loose ends addressed completely, but more so to give you some food for thought. That strikes me as the real strength of this show. It doesn't explain everything fully, and we don't come to understand things fully, but that pretty much reflects our understanding of the human psyche even in real life. So I think that this kind of ending is well suited to the show. It isn't even too open-ended anyway. Like, I get that the Johan thing is a pretty big deal, but there is so much more to the show than just him, and I would say this is good enough of an ending for a series this wonderful and this thoughtful. It is just so raw and so full of depth. I know I'm going to be sitting down and thinking about it for a long time, and I'm really looking forward to actually organizing my thoughts on it properly and eventually making a video essay highlighting what it is I love about the show so much and discussing elements of the show in more detail that they deserve. It has been wonderful reacting to this series. I am recording this final reaction on January 22nd, though it probably won't be up on YouTube for quite a while. I will actually edit and upload all these videos at my own leisure, since I'm in my last term of university right now, and this actually takes the pressure off, having recorded all the footage in one go and then just working with it later. And maybe through that process, revisiting the series that way to actually edit and upload these will help me consolidate my thoughts a little better. Please feel free to let me know what you all think about this series, what you love about it, who your favorite characters are, what you think happened in the ending, anything like that at all. Take care everyone, and I will see you guys next time.